Round 2.
Hold on, now say it again.
Round 2.
We're back with round 2. Our first video accidentally went into the trash can. So we're going to start again. All right, so we have the Little Red Riding Hood Problem Solving STEM Challenge Kit. Now, this kit is pretty cool because I think compared to others, it could honestly go from pre-K with more hands-on instruction and adult supervision all the way up to grade 2, possibly 3, to get some of those STEM and science grades in there and to give them a chance to be more active in a reading station. So the way I would most likely use this station would be during reading stations, and I would use Canvas. Younger grades, you could use Seesaw. I know that Charlie and I have been talking, and she filled me in on how Seesaw was used in both kindergarten and first grade for remote learning. So that would be fantastic as well. I would start by explaining the directions, maybe make a module for your students if you use Canvas. If not, you might want to think about how you could break each step into chunks through Seesaw, and that's just something I'm not familiar with. So I would start by recording the directions for my students, and then they have inside the story card all 6 steps or pieces of the story. You could even tie some comprehension questions to a little quiz for your students to get a quick little reading grade, or you could use problem and solution. You could use Plot Mountain for this. You could pull characters. You could pull setting. Anyways, there's a spot at the end of the story card that has a challenge. And the challenge for this card is, can you build Little Red Riding Hood a new basket that will hold all 10 apples? So with that, before your students get started, you're going to want to have a designated place in your classroom during station time where they can come and get a planning card. So Charlie and I have lots of copies. We ran them so that the next group of friends have plenty of copies. They're going to start after watching possibly a direction video, coming in here and planning what they want their basket to look like. Then they're going to create. So in your Canvas or Seesaw, you might want to take a picture of these cards. So here's a card that models how they're going to plan, and then another card to show what tools they're going to use to create. All of the tools that you're going to use to create are right here. So Charlie and I were looking at these earlier, and we have 10 apples. Charlie, what else do we have besides 10 apples?
We have Grandma from the story and the big bad wolf and a little axe guy
The woodsman.
Who tells Little Red Riding Hood that there's a bad wolf in the forest. And then we also have basket stuff, so you can build your basket. If you have like puzzles and stuff, you can use those if you can.
Absolutely. So Charlie's right. So if you don't have access to these, or maybe you want to give your students more materials, you could absolutely substitute. Or maybe, for example, in stations, if you want one friend to use the tools that came with this, that would be one option to build a basket. Another option could be building a Lego basket. A third option could be a Lincoln Log basket or magnet tiles for a basket. Any little building tools that you have would be a great way. So you could even challenge your students to choose one material to build a basket with, and you wouldn't necessarily need to share the building tools amongst your group of students in that station. So for example, there are really only maybe 20, 25 little pieces to use. Probably not enough for multiple friends, but in order to have every friend complete this activity during station time, you might consider pulling different materials, popsicle sticks, tape, anything that you have in your classroom, I don't know, that you could pull, and each student chooses a different material or resource to build their basket. So Charlie, why don't you go ahead and quickly explain what it is that you have in front of you?
So right now I have paper that I drew my basket, and I made 2 layers that has 2 handles, and you might think of like 3 if you want, but I did it 2 so I can put 5 in one and then at 5 in the other one. And so like we're going to build a bottom and then a top and then sides. And I already started on this one side, so we need to put like little blots so in the middle, so then we can't like see through, so then the apples don't fall through.
Awesome. So Charlie is going to go ahead and start building her basket based on her plan. Now in Canvas or Seesaw, once you have all of your module pieces in there or different units throughout Seesaw, you might want to have a part where they come back in and record using Flipgrid or another recording option through Canvas or Seesaw where they explain, just as Charlie did, her planning piece. So now that Charlie has explained her planning piece, she would go in and she would listen to video of her teacher explaining the creating piece. So explaining the different materials that you've laid out for them to use for this, including the ones that came with the project. And then you're going to give them time to build. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes to build their project. Then you're going to want to have them watch a second video or third video to where you explain the testing, where they can come over and have access. So maybe you have a home space in your classroom for this station, and they get to come over with all of their pieces from the kit, and they get to test it out to see if their basket holds all 10 pieces. Always as a challenge, if there is more time left in station time, you could have them fix if their basket didn't hold all 10 pieces. Maybe you have them then make adjustments to see what they could do differently so that their challenge did work or so that they were successful. So Charlie's going to go ahead and build her basket, and we'll report back with how that works. Okay, so we are back and Charlie has finished her video. Charlie, show them the basket that you made. It's very full, but it is successfully holding all 10, right, Charlie?
Yep.
She's done a fantastic job. So this is the point where Charlie would hop onto a recording tool and she would share how she made her basket and how it worked. Then she would come back in, and after she has tested, she's going to record how it went. So you can make this recording. She could write incomplete sentences at the bottom of her page and turn that in for grade and just to kind of check in with you. So that's pretty cool. Charlie enjoyed herself, and I've loved spending extra time with her. So again, this would be a fantastic tool for preschool all the way up to second grade, possibly third with some learners. Hope you've enjoyed our video. Bye, guys.
Yep.